I want to raise, I know ISIL, AQAP have been the focus of most of your testimony, but I'd like to raise one other area that I think in your testimony you've touched on, but I'd love to hear before the group. I think back last year in April when we were all at that moment astonished by the actions of Boko Haram in Nigeria, seizing 300 girls from a school, 200 of which I believe are still missing. Subsequent actions of the United States in sending troops and advisors to that region. We've seen since that time about 1.5 million people displaced, north of 3,000 killed in 2014, and a coalition arise. I think just recently Niger joined with Nigeria, Benin, Chad, and Cameroon for a force. Could you give us an 8,700 person force? Could you give us an assessment whether these countries have the capability, whether the tide is swaying? Obviously, Nigeria's postponed their elections. And first question would be, can they take on this threat of Boko Haram? It's remarkable that with the atrocities they commit, they're still pushed off the front page because of the extraordinary atrocities of ISIL and others, and what type of potential threat that poses beyond that immediate region.
Thank you, Senator. I think you're onto something with the question by raising the question of regional partners. There's no question but that Nigeria faces significant, serious challenges to mounting on its own a response against Boko Haram. Even in the most stable political environment, they would face those challenges. And as the committee well knows, right now Nigeria is in the midst of a potential political transition that will test even further their ability to mount a coherent response among their political, intelligence, and military communities. So one solution to that is to try to get regional partners, as you described, more involved: Niger, Cameroon, other partners. And they are increasingly stepping up to that challenge with their admittedly limited resources, but their shared sense of threat. I think we will be in a position to try to enable these partners to try to develop a regional approach against Boko Haram, and doing what we can, principally through advising and assisting and providing intelligence where it's appropriate. And I think that can increase their effectiveness. I think it remains to be seen. It certainly isn't the case yet that the tide has been turned against Boko Haram, and it remains to be seen if the regional parties can, in concert, turn that tide. And I'd not want to get out ahead of that in terms of predicting anything. This is a part of the world where we do not have the largest resource footprint, so we do what we can, but we may have to reevaluate Boko Haram's trajectory over time if we see that the regional partners are overmatched.
And do you see any evidence of, there have been some reported evidence of Boko Haram's reaching out to other groups in terms of network? Could you comment on that?
Exactly. The increased intercommunication between Boko Haram and other terrorist groups in the northwestern part of Africa, and even with ISIL, all of that just adds to the picture of an interconnected terrorist network with the ability to share resources, personnel, expertise, and tradecraft in a way that serves as a multiplier for their own capabilities, and that's a disturbing trend.
Mr. Chairman, I think this is an area that we need to keep our eye on as well. I know obviously there's huge challenges. Thank you.